YouTube प्रीमियम में पाएं एड फ्री YouTube और YouTube म्यूजिक प्रीमियम। 1 महीना फ्री ट्रायल लें।
यहाँ से बहुत दूर गलत और सही के पार एक मैदान है। मैं वहां मिलूंगा तुझे।
खिले तो ज्यादा काले लगते हैं उजाले तेरे बिना हुए माहिया ठंडियां हवावाइया निंदरा उड़ा ले गईया अख ना सोए माहिया हाँ तेरा इंतजार है कहाँ करार है तेरी आस ही दिल को हाँ बेशुमार है बयां करूं कैसे तेरा इंतजार है तेरा इंतजार है रे कबीरा मान जा रे फकीरा यूं आजा आजा तुझको पुकारे तेरी परछाइयां रे कबीरा मान जा धीरे धीरे नैनों को धीरे धीरे जिया को धीरे धीरे भाइयों ने साथ धीरे धीरे बेगाना धीरे धीरे अपना सा धीरे धीरे लगने साथ काश वो पल पैदा ही न हो जिस पल में नजर तू न आए काश वो पल पैदा ही न हो जिस पल में नजर तू न आए देख तुझको ही बस देख कर भूली मुझको ही मेरी नजर तुझको शायद नहीं है खबर तुझको जीते हैं हम किस कदर दिल दिया गल्ला करांगे नाल नाल बैके अख नाल अख नू मिला के दिल दिया गल्ला करांगे रोज रोज बैके सच्चियां मोहब्बतां निभा के वास्ते ना दूं मैं गवाह ना दूं इसको तो खालिखा मोड़ दूं बदले दे मैं तेरे जो खुदा खुद भी दे जन्नते सच कहूं छोड़ दूं
सोई सोई पलकों पे चल के मेरे सपनों की खिड़की पे आ गया हट जाते फिर मेरे दिल के इन हाथों में वो खत पकड़ा गया प्यार का लफ्जों में रंग है प्यार का बहारा बहारा हुआ दिल पहली बार में बहारा बहारा कि चैन तो हुआ फरार में बहारा बहारा हुआ दिल पहली बार में गहरीज पे मेरे दिल की जो रखे है तूने कदम तेरे नाम पे मेरी जिंदगी लिख दी मेरे हमदम हाँ सीखा मैंने जीना जीना कैसे जीना हाँ सीखा मैंने जीना मेरे हमदम ना सीखा कभी जीना जीना कैसे जीना ना सीखा जीना तेरे बिना हमदम हाँ किया हाँ किया
$99 a month for a streaming app, and $119 a month for a music app, and $400 for a fitness app, and more money for a bunch of other apps. That really adds up. So why not get YouTube Premium for just $129? It's like having all those and the entire world of YouTube uninterrupted. Your wallet will thank you. If wallets could talk. YouTube Premium. Try 1 month free.
कोई कैसे उन्हें ये समझाए सजनिया के मन में अभी इनकार है जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है जाने बलमा घोड़े पे क्यों सवार है
गाता है दिल तुम नहीं ताकीद कहाँ
आने दो दिल में आ जाने दो के दो मुस्कुराहट को जाने दो दिल से चले जाने दो के दो घबराहट को बाय 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 बाय
एक मैं एक ईमान है दोनों तुझ पे तुझ पे दोनों तुझ पे कुर्बान
A very good morning, everyone. May I please request everyone to take your seats? Thank you. Good morning again. A very, very, very warm welcome to Amplify 2.0. Welcome to our board members, all our SMT members, all our esteemed guests, and each and every member of the JBCN family. May I now request Mr. Rao to please address the welcome note. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kavita. Welcome ladies and gentlemen, of course, members of the board, special guests, my fellow principals, members of SMTs of all our schools, and of course, teachers, admin, everybody who is part of this family. Today is a very different kind of gathering of everybody. Today we are learning, not partying like the December gathering of everybody, but that too can be one, right? I know interspersed between all of the learning is a lot of fun. Learning is fun, just as we remind our students all the time, all our learners, learning is fun. But I'd like to welcome you all to our Oshiwara campus. Thank you so much to the head office academic team who's worked so hard to put together an absolutely incredible event. Last year we had, I think, between 50 and 60 sessions last year. This time it is upwards of 120. I don't think there are too many organizations in the world that can boast of an event like this one, where so many individuals have the unique opportunity to learn so much in such a small period of time, to be able to acquire some pretty incredible skills and takeaways, to be able to, what I'm hoping, is set us all off on journeys of learning that are going to last a lifetime. Today is just the beginning of discovering what more you can do. Today, I think, as we head into our second JBCN Amplify event, the idea is to be able to give you a glimpse into not just the present, but the future of education and our practice. And I think that's the lens through which we should all focus on how the day is going to progress. I wish you all a very great day of learning. My entire team is here, I'm here. If there's anything that we can do to help you out through the day, even if it means to help you find your way, come and find us and we'll let you know. But enjoy the day, enjoy the learning. It's always wonderful to bring all the 5 schools together. And today is going to be one of those incredible days. I just know it. Thank you all so much. And Kavita, over to you.
Thank you, Mr. Rao, and a day of learning is all we are looking forward to. May I now invite our chairperson, Ms. Pinky Dalal, to please address the audience. Thank you.
Hi, very good morning, and I'm overwhelmed. Last year, unfortunately, I was traveling and I couldn't be there. So I sent a message to everyone. And I've come back from Muscat, especially for this event. So I think you got to thank me too also. One thing I can say that the team, especially Lamia, asked me, ma'am, will you say some motivational words to our team? I think you are my motivation. I'm overwhelmed with the response. I'm overwhelmed with your dedication, your aspiration to learn. Learning always goes. This is the tagline I'm going to use, Amplify 2.0, learning beyond boundaries. I think learning never ends. When we tell our learners we want them to be lifelong learners, I think we need to be lifelong learners too. And congratulations for your dedication. You're motivating us to create this event. Thank you, Priya. Thank you, Lamia academic team, for organizing this event. Thank you, Kunal, for your leadership, your vision. I think maybe I come from old school of thoughts. I would have not thought about it. But amazing, amazing, amazing. Thank you, Arjun, for hosting it. Your team, thank your team also for hosting it. And I don't know where we had last year. Year only. So, I'm so sorry. So, we are so privileged to have the team who wants to go on hosting us every year. Yeah? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I feel for me, education goes beyond knowledge. It's journey of life. All of you know. But it's a powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And this is what you are going to be doing, imparting knowledge through your experiences today to all our learners and make them our future change makers. Thank you so much. Wish you all the very best. I think I have to learn a lot. Thank you, our special guests, for coming and hosting this event. And I must mention one thing. Priya said she had to just make one call to request them to be part of this event. And it was always yes. So thank you for being so positive. Thank you for coming and gracing this occasion. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, my team, for motivating me. And I will not give any motivational speech. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Pinky. Those really motivating words. They were, of course. May I now invite our Managing Director, Mr. Kunal Dalal, to please address the audience. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. Did everyone have a good breakfast? So, before I start off with anything, I think I do need to mention the amazing effort of... Come, guys, come, please. No problem, please join. I need to mention the amazing effort that has been put in by Priya and the entire academic team, everyone over here, for putting this concept together, for kind of conceptualizing how we can ensure a day which is fun-filled, which involves everyone coming together, which involves a certain level of engagement, and most importantly, a lot of learning. So to the head office academic team, super job as always. Thank you guys for conceptualizing this and putting this together. As you all know, everything we do in JBCN gets bigger and better every year. So I'm sure Amplify 2.0 with over 128 sessions today is going to be a day full of learning and a day full of, constructive thought processes, constructive sharing, constructive feedback, and a day of learning, as I said. We also want to thank the Oshiwara team for hosting this again, Arjun, to you and your beautiful team in Oshiwara for taking this on, hosting it, and it's always a pleasure to come here, I always say that. So looking forward to that. I think today for me is about, going in different sessions, exploring, learning, and most importantly, I think just kind of seeing if there's something that interests me, there's something that can spark a sense of interest, which then I can take forward in different ways. I don't think the idea of today is only to attend a training and say, okay, I did these 2 or 3 sessions, that's great, I met these people, and I'm done with it. I think the idea of today is to spark that thought or to seed that thought in everyone, whether it's about AI, and I know there's a wonderful conversation about that happening, or about financial literacy. I know Sharan's doing something along those lines, or anything else. And I was talking to the head office team a couple of weeks ago. We had a small town hall with just the HO team, and I told them, I said, guys, when you're choosing your sessions, and I know it's a bit late to tell everyone now because you've chosen your sessions, but I told them, please choose a session or choose something that you're not familiar with, that you don't know about. So I actually told the accounts team, I said, please go into a training session on pedagogy rather than financial literacy, because you need to know what happens in our schools, because you all are such an integral part of it. And likewise for everyone else. So if you do have some free time, And I don't know if I'm breaking any protocol over here. But if you do have some free time and you haven't registered, at least what I'm going to do is I'm going to go peek into different sessions. I'm hoping that no one will say no to me, but I'm sure that no one will say no to anyone as well. So if there is an interesting session and you have some time off and you're done with your foot massage and you have 15 minutes before the next session, please go in, peek in, sit in on a session that is not your area of expertise, is not your area of interest, is not something that you do on a day-to-day basis. Because you don't know where that seed of interest or where that spark comes in, which can then take a whole different journey as you move forward. So, without further ado, a warm welcome to everyone again. It's lovely to have the whole JBCN family together. Like Arjun said, December 2nd was a different vibe. Today is a different vibe, but I think the one thing that I can say is when we all are together, there's a lot of positivity, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of smiling faces, happiness that I sense. Even when I entered the school today, you could just feel a buzz. So really happy and privileged to be here and be part of this event, and really looking forward to the rest of the day. So thank you everyone, and thank you everyone for being here and participating and being part of this wonderful journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Kunal, for those amazing words. Moving on, I'm sure all of you are aware of the Change Maker Challenge. Thank you for all your responses and your participation. Out of all the entries, we have shortlisted 3 Changemaker videos. And I'm not announcing the winner now. We'll play all of those, and we'll see who wins. Can we please have the 3 videos? Thank you. Sorry, we're just facing some sound issue. Sorry? Close that.
I am gonna finish my food and bring the rest food. To help saving the environment, to not throw garbage on the road and always pick up the garbage, even if the garbage is not here, even if there's other stuff on the road that you didn't throw them, you should still pick it up. I save water to close the tap. I take less because I only have less because I eat only that much. I take a bucket bath in warm water, so I don't waste a lot of water. I save water, like I don't play with water. I take a little water, and then also if I want, I take it. I save food. I don't waste food. If I want more, I will take it in the second serving, and also I'll take a little amount of food. I work till Friday every day.
Okay, that was the first video from the Oshiwara team, senior KG. Now we're moving on to our next video. It is by the Chembur team. Let's have the video, please. Thank you. Thank you. Moving on to our last entry by the Borivali team.
Welcome to the heart of innovation and creativity. At JBCN, we proudly present JBCN Radio, a learner-led program where our young minds are the true change makers. A panel of teachers were formed to take our auditions. They asked us various questions and selected the few individuals with special skills. Before we could start writing episodes, we had a workshop with a professional radio jockey, R.J. Rani, who taught us how to speak on air. We collaborated together and wrote various scripts based on relevant topics and were also guided by our teachers. We had a run-through and we practiced voice modulations before we went live on air. Our traditional makes this festival special.
Why do people say that Gurkha Ali Gorgorgola or Makar Sankranti?
Every Tuesday I'm excited because I get to hear radio at school. JBCN Radio keeps me updated about the upcoming events. Your
Thank you. A little bit about the Changemaker Challenge that was floated a couple of months back. It was floated with an aim to inspire and empower all our schools to devise and adopt innovative plans that drive positive change in various areas. Those areas could be unique programs or learner behavior or improvements in any kind of processes currently existing in the schools, or classroom practices or digital experiments and promotion drives. So all our schools participated, and those were our 3 selected videos. We now would like to invite our COO, Ms. Priya, and our CFO, Mr. Sharan, to award the runners-up. And our runners-up are the teams from, just one second. Yeah. From Chembur, Envision Change by the primary team. May I please call upon any member from the Chembur team, from the primary team? Yeah. We have the PYPC from the Chembur campus, Ms. Sonia Kedia, accepting the award. Thank you, Sonia. We now have this other runners-up team. That is the JBCN Radio, the primary team from the Borivali campus. Thank you, Ms. Priya. Thank you, Sharan. Thank you, Smita. And now for the winners, may I please invite Ms. Pinky to award the winner. And the winner from the Oshiwara team, the pre-primary team.
Not fair, not fair.
Thank you, Mr. Rao. Thank you. Yeah, your certificate. Thank you, Shalini. Thank you, Ms. Pinky. Congratulations to all the winners. May I now invite our COO, Ms. Priya Nair, to welcome our esteemed guest, Ms. Maya Menon. Thank you.
Thank you, Kavita. Very good morning to all my dear friends here. First of all, thank you for coming here, participating, and the sheer joy that your presence gives us is something that I cannot explain in words. So this thank you is on behalf of the whole team that has worked really hard to make this day special for you. But before I start anything else, the thank you speech was not the brief given to me. But since I have the mic, I don't think I want to miss the opportunity to thank some very special people here, starting with Mrs. Dalal, Pinky, as I call her with a lot of affection. She has actually cut short her vacation, and she's here despite her illness or ill health. So thank you so much, Pinky, for being here for us. We feel really, really blessed that you're here to grace all of us, help all of us through this day. Thank you to Kunal. always, always supporting. As he walks down the corridor, he'll say, how's it going with Amplify? Is there anything I need to help you with? We all know that his charm is very disarming. We also know perhaps that he's a very demanding colleague, line manager. I don't like to use the word boss. But he's also a tremendous support for anything that is new, and in a very unassuming way will support us through and through. I also want to thank Sharan, who is my reach out go-to person for all things money and otherwise. My colleagues from head office, Andrea, Nikhil, not here, and all the heads of departments. Himali, thank you in absentia, but I know she's here in spirit. All my fellow principals, I mean, really, the kind of support that all of you have shown towards this event. Again, I don't have the right words to really express what I feel. I was just seeing that you're all doing it so selflessly, pushing it, encouraging your teams to participate. And of course, Arjun and the Yoshiwara team. Thank you very much, and sorry if we have really, really troubled you, but we had no choice. We did pass on some of our stress to you, I know that. A very big word of gratitude to all the panelists who have come here to be part of this wonderful group of educators that we call our JBCN family. Thank you for being here, and as Mrs. Dalal just mentioned, at very short notice. All the SMT members, all the teachers, all the educators here in the room, it would not be right for me. I know it's my team, but we are all a team. I do want to give a huge shout out to Lamia and the whole, where are they? They're all, okay. They're all there. Josephine, Kavita, Pradnya, Kavita, Jia, Veena, just everybody working very, very long hours to make this a joyful day for all of us. So thank you. So that, I know I deviated from my brief, but I just took the liberty to do that. I was given, assigned the task of introducing to all of us Miss Maya Menon, Maya as I call her. Maya, well, when I was told that that's what I have to do, or maybe partly I also offered that because I really thought it was great. I mean, such joy to talk about Maya. But I also realized that it's going to be a challenge. So when you're given 3 to 5 minutes very strictly to introduce somebody of the stature and experience of Maya, I had the choice of carrying a paper with me and reading out her journey. And so I made many notes, teachers after all, and bullet points, and shortened it and lengthened it and did all of that. And Maya has done many, many things in her 4 decades as an educator. 4 decades is not a small period to be in education. And I think the beauty of who Maya is as an educator is that I've always known her to think ahead of times, stay grounded in the present, celebrate what we've inherited from the past, and make it seamless and beautiful, like a tapestry that we can all look at and admire and work through. Maya has thought ahead of times, is what I said, and I know way back. So I have known Maya for nearly 20 years. And yes, we didn't realize that. Way ahead in the late 90s and early 20s, or early 2000s. Maya had conceptualized and designed and implemented with the Wipro group a project which was meant to empower and encourage teachers and teacher educators when it wasn't really thought of. We did our B.Ed and we went along. Who thought that teachers need to be constantly renewed, rejuvenated, and refreshed? Maya also at that time, I'm not going to be saying this in chronological order, Maya, so pardon me for that. I don't want to read it. She also thought of a program to certify principals through a formal qualification and training program, not thought of in India. We all grew into our roles at that time, those days. So you've been a teacher for so many years, and you naturally grow into the role of principal, but not everybody who's a great academic naturally gets the skills, the demeanor, the requirements for being a great leader, right? So Maya thought of that. It was called the Headlamp program at that time, and I've had the privilege of participating in that program way back. Maya also, in her very, very early days, thought of the whole socio-emotional learning space. She built what is called the I Self. Really, again, ahead of times in a way, because how many of us really think of or thought of the socio-emotional learning space in a structured manner? Why is it so important that we are all socially and emotionally stable? And how do you put all this together? And I have to mention here that Maya's I Self program has been mapped by Harvard University, no less, and has been categorized as the most focused in terms of depth and breadth of what it sought out to achieve. And I can go on and on. We all know that Maya is trained by Jenny Moseley herself on the whole Quality Circle Times. The whole project took off when Maya came back trained by Jenny Moseley. Maya is part of NUPA, the National University of Education Planning and Administration. She's written articles in books. She's always thinking of teacher quality, teacher empowerment, capacity building of teachers and educators, and thinking ahead of times. I think what we should be doing is sharing her curriculum vitae one more time with all of you, because I cannot possibly capture and do justice to everything that she has done in 3 minutes. But I do want to talk about Maya, the person I know, the educator that I know. Maya wears all her wonderful accomplishments very lightly. One of the most unassuming human beings that I have known or seen. She always ensures that her opinion is voiced, but not in a manner that is abrasive. She will not be pushed over, but she has the right balance of sharing an opinion without sounding judgmental or opinionated. It's a very, very fine balance, and it's so beautiful. From a distance, many of us have admired, tried to imbibe some of the qualities that Maya espouses. She does not ever wear a cap with feathers, so there is no one more feather in her cap, though she always wears a flower in her hair. That's her personality. Always ready to help. You can reach out to her. There will be no formality. And that is the beauty of Maya. I do hope you can experience her through the day. And all I can say is thank you, Maya, for being here with us. And over to you.
Thank you. Thank you, Priya. And I think that was absolutely over the top, that kind of introduction. I don't think I deserve that, but thank you. And thank you, JBCN Group. Thank you, Pinky. Thank you, Kunal, Priya, Lamya, Josephine, Gia, all of them who've been coordinating with me and my team. So I'm just going to get to my presentation. Okay, sorry. Okay. So I knew that Amplify 2.0 was going to be talking about artificial intelligence. Nowadays, in fact, I don't think I need this. Yeah, I don't need this. Yeah. Yeah, this can be removed. Yeah. So today, this is the, this is the time, the latest flavor of the month is artificial intelligence. I've been attending several conferences, both in Delhi and in a rural part of Andhra Pradesh, and now in JBCN in Mumbai, talking about artificial intelligence. And there are different audiences, different parts of the country, different kinds of schools being reached out to, and yet artificial intelligence is the latest flavor, but it's not going to be just a flavor. It is definitely going to be, it's going to stay. And I think all of us as teachers, educators need to be aware of how does that impact the work that we do. So I thought we need to be, and since Priya extolled about what we've been doing in social emotional learning, and that is true. Social emotional learning was not a terminology that well-known educators in our country talked about or discussed about when we began our work in SEL way back in the early 2000s, and then of course more seriously as an academic piece of research in 2012. So I decided to title my talk, Nurturing Human Intelligence versus Leveraging Artificial Intelligence, because we need to do both because we are teachers. So I'm not an AI expert. I think there are other AI experts who will be talking to you on the panel and various other sessions. But I think it is important. I'm definitely, hopefully, reasonably knowledgeable about education, its challenges and its potential. There is AI for education or AI in education, and there's AI education. And I think I'm going to be talking about mainly AI for or in education. AI education is not something I have knowledge of, partly because you need to be a specialist. You need to know programming. You need to know the technical aspects of AI, computer science, etc. But each of these aspects of AI serves a purpose. Oops. Yeah. Let's unpack the title of my talk. We're talking about nurturing human intelligence versus leveraging artificial intelligence. So what does human intelligence mean? We have an understanding, of course, but it's good to clarify that. And also, what does artificial intelligence mean? Many of us have an understanding of that also. So let's talk about artificial intelligence first. Artificial intelligence refers to the simulation of human intelligence in machines, essentially trying to, in a way, replace what human beings can do through machines. So that's one way of looking at it. The goal of artificial intelligence is to develop systems that can perform tasks that typically require human intelligence. So it's not mechanical tasks like, a car and so on, but it's more mental, cognitive tasks. So I think that's one way of understanding artificial intelligence. There is simple AI, like your virtual personal assistants, Alexa, Siri. That's AI, but that's simple, or they call it weak AI. And then there's machine learning, which is ability to perform complex tasks based on algorithms and statistical models. And that is constantly growing, and I'm amazed at what machine learning can do. I'll talk a little bit about what I've heard from the bigger technologies, the big corporate companies that are working on technology. Let's look at human intelligence. Human intelligence refers to the complex combination of physical, cognitive, social, emotional abilities. Now that's complex, and machine learning is trying to replace that. So we have to be aware of it, because as educators, we are developing the human capital of the nation, of the country, of the world. Especially, we can say confidently the world, because India has the largest young under 18 population in the world. So we need to understand the enormity and the responsibility of the work that we do, building young people, rather besides just looking at the latest buzzword, which is right now artificial intelligence. The fallibility and vulnerability of that's intrinsic to HI, I'm calling it HI, human intelligence, is its greatest strength and its weakness. I think we need to recognize that Human intelligence is fallible, it is vulnerable, but it is the strength of, of human beings, but it also can be the weakness. And machine learning doesn't have that weakness. It has big strengths. So we need to see, how do we leverage, how do we also nurture this fallibility and vulnerability, which is important to and essential to who we are as human beings. While so much of machine learning and artificial intelligence is going to take over the world in the next 3, 4, 5 years. So what are your thoughts on HR and AI? A couple of quick thoughts if you'd like to share. Just top of the mind, do you have any thoughts on good, bad, worried? Anything? Okay, Devika says good. Yeah, Kunal? I would say good if used in the right way. Great, it's good to have that qualifier. Good if it's used in the right way, if it's used thoughtfully, yes.
Human intelligence has plasticity. The other brain can obviously take over if the one part of the brain is damaged.
Yeah.
But AI cannot do that.
Yeah. Human intelligence has plasticity, has flexibility, has adaptability, which perhaps AI can't. But don't be too sure, because AI, people are working on that also. But yet. Yeah, exactly. One more, yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, it's the emotional capability and sophistication that human beings are capable of that sets us apart. Yes, one last one, yeah.
Bias element where we also have this idea of extrapolating and we tend to form stereotypes and things. That can be bigger in AI if it tends to extrapolate and generalize and choose the pattern
Yeah.
too much, then that can become a bigger bias.
Yeah. Depends on the data that is fed into the machine learning.
Then the data is fed by
Human beings. True, very true, very, very true. But it can amplify that bias much more, much faster through machine learning or AI. Thank you for that. So that's where SEL comes in. Priya talked about our work in SEL. That's where SEL comes in, because we need to know, while we are training, teaching children AI and the possibilities and potential of AI in this world while they're learning the academic curriculum, we need to be grounded on in the social emotional capabilities of children, because if we just focus on the cognitive capacities of children, AI will take over. No question about it. That's what I'm not saying it. Experts on AI are saying it. So we need to strengthen the human capacities of young people, and that's where social emotional learning comes in. Apart, of course, the physical. People have to be healthy, people have to be physically strong and have resilience, etc. There must be that mental and emotional resilience, and that's what social emotional learning gives you. This is our adapted definition, adapted from CASEL. CASEL is perhaps the mothership of all social emotional learning research in the world. It stands for Collaborative of Academic, Social and Emotional Learning. They're based in Chicago, and they've done a lot of research for the last 35 years, much before. So we actually, reached out to CASEL quite a bit while we were doing our research on iSelf. So social emotional learning, according to CASEL, we've adapted it from CASEL, is defined as the process of acquiring a set of social emotional skills. I've sort of underlined certain things. The social emotional skills are self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and decision-making. But it's qualified with in a safe, supportive environment that encourages social, emotional, and cognitive development with authentic opportunities for practicing these skills. Now, the last part of the definition is where we come in as teachers, as educators, because we need to be providing a safe, supportive environment. We need to provide authentic learning opportunities. If we don't do that, children don't just acquire SEL, these capacities of self-awareness, etc. So that was one definition from way back 2005, which is adapted. A more recent definition from Stephanie Jones et al. Stephanie Jones is part of Harvard University's EASL Labs. EASL stands for, like the artist easel, Ecological Approaches for Social and Emotional Learning. So they say SEL refers to the process through which individuals learn and apply a set of social, emotional, and related non-academic skills, attitudes, behaviors, and values that help direct their thoughts, feelings, and actions in ways that enable them to succeed in school, work, life. This difference here is that they've talked about values, they've talked about success in school, work, and life, and I think that makes sense because eventually when we are teaching children, developing children, nurturing children's growth, we are looking at them succeeding in school, succeeding later on in work, and later on succeeding in their personal lives also. We need to help them flourish and thrive in an ever-changing, dynamic world. So, that's a good definition to have. But you can see also, SEL refers to the process. Both the definitions have the process. It's not something that you just get. You have to do it over and over again till you can actually hone your SEL skills. So there's a lot of confusion between social emotional learning and life skills. They're similar and yet they're different. So again, I had to dip into research and it was very difficult to get. And then I realized there was a good piece of research which sort of talks about the essential difference between SEL and life skills, because we use these words interchangeably as well as 21st century skills, but I'm not talking about 21st century skills today, just SEL and life skills. I've tried to put, I know you can't read it, but I can send you this presentation later. This is a Venn diagram which I just sort of created to show the essential difference. The similarities, of course, that they're both related to the non-academic skills. But the difference is that SEL is a much more recent piece of research, piece of a field, whereas life skills has been around in India for 25 years, 20 plus years, definitely. SEL has been here just about 10 years. When we started in 2002, people were still saying, ye kya hota hai? Because everything is, after all, cognitive. All learning is cognitive. SEL is grounded in developmental psychology, which means that you can actually track how children can progress age group by age group in terms of their capacities for social emotional learning. Whereas life skills education is grounded more in vocational education, employability, girls' education, girls' empowerment, reproductive health, drug and alcohol rehabilitation, etc. So that is the essential difference. There are other differences also. Most of the literature of SEL is stemming from the US and a little bit from Europe. But only now, in India, Teacher Foundation's work in SEL was the first piece of research. There isn't any other research, formal research as yet in India. There will, I'm sure, be soon. Whereas in life skills, there's been a lot of work in various parts of the world. Africa has a very thriving life skills, sort of community. So I'm just going to move on. So I want to touch upon this. Some of you know about our research, but 2012 to 2019 is when we actually did this research. We thought it'll take us 3 years. It took us 5 years just to gather the data, and another 2 years to put together the data to create our framework. So why did we undertake this research? Because we realized while we were really deeply interested in helping teachers understand social emotional learning, there was no research in India that's grounded in India for standards for social emotional learning for Indian children. And I think it was important that India's large enough and diverse enough, and even I would say we have to have different versions for different parts of the country. But right now we have one which is for pan-India, but perhaps for southern states could be very different, or for one particular state could be very different compared to ISEL for another state. That is how it is in the US. They have CASEL, but then they have standards in different states, depending on the needs and requirements of those geographies. So ISELF is pan-India, but we will have to look at later. Oops, sorry. So this was, I don't know how suddenly turned blue, it was white in my thing. So this was pan-India. We gathered data from all over the country, and we did it from 15 different locations in India: north, south, east, west, and northeast. We also, we did it in 10 different languages, so it was not just in English or Hindi. We did, which is why it took us so much time, because we had to we had to convert all our research instruments and survey forms, etc., into different languages, validate them before we collected data, and then back translated and so on. And so that's the thing. And after that, from 2017 to 2019 is when we actually put together the framework, which is called iSelf, based on the data. Because we wanted to know, what do teachers feel, what do children feel, what do head teachers feel about, and we went to different kinds of schools, urban schools, rural schools, high-end private schools like yours, government schools, mid-end schools. So we tried to reach out to the entire spectrum of schools that exist in India in order that it's reasonably representative. I don't want to say it is representative because India is far too complex a country to say this framework is representative of every school in India. After that, we put together this framework. We realized that from the data that the 5 competencies that are mentioned in CASTLE work for India, and we got that data from the schools, from the teachers. When we asked them questions linked to these competencies, whether they're relevant, they all said yes. Were there anything that was relevant? Much of what teachers and schools and children said fell into these 5 competencies of self-awareness, self-management, relationship management, social awareness, and decision-making. Just to unpack it a little bit more, each competency then is divided into, is broken up into 2 or 3 learning standards. All that's common for all the ages. And then from the learning standards, we have the learning outcomes. It's the learning outcomes which are age-banded. So whether it is 6 years, 9 years, 13 years, 16 years, 18 years, the competencies will be the same, the learning standards are the same, but the learning outcomes would be different based on their age. Let's give you an example. I'll just show you one SEL competency, one learning standard, just a glimpse to help you see the progression of the learning outcomes from the young ages to the old ages. So that's self-awareness. I won't read out the definition of it. That's our definition. What self-awareness is in iSelf. That's one learning standard, which is just identify one's emotions and their influence on one's behavior, performance, and decisions. So that's a learning standard under self-awareness, being able to identify one's own emotions and their influence on performance. In 6 to 8 years, the learning outcome would be ability to accurately label emotions and recognize how they're linked to behavior. Just knowing sad, happy, angry, calm, etc. 9, 10 is describe different emotions and the situations that cause them. So that's a little bit more complex. 11 to 13 recognize that one's emotional responses can be distinct from others in the same situation. So the way I feel about something in my class versus somebody else, my classmate feeling, could be different in the same because we are different people. 14 to 15, you see, determine how emotions contribute to performance and analyze how emotions affect decisions and responsible behavior. So you can see that it's a more complex learning outcome. And finally, 16 to 18, it's even more complex. Examine ways of dealing with conflicting thoughts and emotions. That's all for one learning standard under one competency, different learning outcomes. So this is how, it means that 16 to 18, you need to have all the other learning outcomes, of course. It's sort of a, progressive. It isn't as if they need to do only that. But in the younger ages, they're able to just know when they're sad, happy, etc. Okay, so Harvard University mapped EASL Lab. So I'm just going to show you that. Sorry, just give me a time check. Yeah. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. So I just want to, I'm just going to show you, this is Harvard University site. I've just linked it up. And you can see these are all the different SEL frameworks from across the world. And these are all, and you can see this is iSelf. This is our Indian Social Emotional Learning Framework. And you can see that it's been seen to have the greatest depth of focus, which is why it goes across the entire spectrum. Okay, so I'm just going to move on. So how is iSelf useful for schools? State governments as well as individual schools can develop their SEL curriculum based on iSelf. Teachers will know what opportunities they must provide students to develop the 5 SEL competencies. iSelf could also be used alongside academic subjects or as a separate subject, as an SEL period. I would recommend that because I think it's very difficult for most teachers to seamlessly integrate language, maths, science, and SEL all in one period. One suffers, and usually it'll be SEL that'll suffer. TTF has designed a set of age-banded assessment tools for SEL using iSelf, which we've called Sambhav, Samajik and Bhavnatmak. So Sambhav is also I can, the whole thing of potential. I want to quickly share with you some data which we've gathered. We've just started piloting it. We've recently done it for an NGO which works on SEL, and they wanted to assess their students. This is data coming from Maharashtra, but not Mumbai. 950 students were assessed from the grades of 6 to 8. We've also done a much larger study in Karnataka recently, which we're still analyzing, which had involved 7,000 plus students. We found that this is the overall data, which 21% of students were capable of answering correctly the self-awareness questions. 41, all of the data shows it's under 50% who demonstrated these capacities of self-management, relationship management, social awareness, and decision-making. But the shocker was the fact that self-awareness was so poor. So that tells you, and in fact, when we were doing our research, also we found self-awareness was truly ignored amongst teachers as well as children. Assessment, you can see the low ones. This is for self-awareness learning standard 1, which was identify emotions. Determine how emotions contribute to performance is under 20% who could answer correctly that particular, those test items, compared to recognize that one's emotional responses can be distinct from others in the same situation. And this is particularly worrisome. Recognize personal qualities and assess personal strengths and challenges. It's all under 10% that children are able to answer. Develop personal skills and interests that they desire to have. Which seems that they don't feel that they have the capacity to do it on their own. I'm just going to rush. This is another one, social awareness. Recognize individual and group similarities and differences. These are all under 50%, but take a look at this one. Determine the origins and effects of stereotyping and prejudice. It's under 20%, 13% of students who were able to choose the desired or ideal answer. Recognize how social and cultural groups are more vulnerable to, some social and cultural groups are more vulnerable to bullying and take steps to address it. 32% only were able to answer it accurately. Show respect to individuals from different social and cultural groups, 34%. So it's important for us to take stock of our own children, where do they fit in. That's why we use artificial intelligence. We had an earlier version of the tool, not the one which we use for the data I just showed you, but before that, last year. And we found that students, this is where machine learning experts use this, we found that after about midpoint, we had 80 questions at that time for the children. After somewhere midpoint, there was no variation. Students were getting bored and answering, and that's machine learning told us this. Whereas this one, which we reduced the number of questions to under 40, we found that there was great variation in terms of choices because each of these colored lines show the choices students were picking up. There was more variety, which indicates that children filled responses carefully and not randomly. So this was good. This is where we were that's the intersection between social emotional learning and AI. And we had data science experts from IIM Bangalore who actually helped us. Now they've moved out of IIM Bangalore. They finished their course, but they're continuing to help us. So SEL AI, I just want to wrap up. Artificial intelligence is poised to dramatically influence how kids develop their sense of self. We talked about self-awareness being quite low in children. So we need to see how do we help use artificial intelligence perhaps to develop their sense of self. and interact with one another, adults, teachers, families, and the broader world. But we need to also recognize that social emotional skills will still be as relevant in an AI-powered world. Knowing how to build and maintain positive relationships, for example, is a pillar of social emotional learning. In fact, relationships are really critical for children in school, as it is for us adults also. AI could fundamentally reshape the relationships, including who we have them with or what we have them with, because now there are chatbots where you can have your personal friend or relationship with, rather than living, breathing human beings. So generative AI could have such a profound effect on children to develop their relationships and sense of self. I recently heard from AI specialists and futurists that 90% of online content could soon be entirely artificially created, which means you're not putting the content, I'm not putting the content, it is AI and machine learning generated. So we have to be careful. We have to be able to be discerning about what is real, what is fake. We're already in the midst of an ocean of fake news. So social emotional skills such as emotional management, impulse control, responsible decision making, perspective taking, and empathy are crucial to navigate this new online reality and world. And we need to be careful about it, because the trouble is that we teachers tend to go with the flow rather than take stock and take charge. We need to take charge. The time has come for teachers to actually drive and navigate what's going to happen to our young people, rather than let the corporate world do that. There's a chatbot called Replica, where you can have a friend, and according to chatbots, the AI for anyone, it's an AI for anyone who wants a friend with no judgment, drama, or social anxiety. Now that much, so they don't disagree with you, they're always in, it's just a replication of you, it's a mirror of you. That is scary, because life is about dealing with people with differences. Conflict is an important aspect of human reality, and Replica creates a version of yourself as your friend. So it's also possible that generative AI tools could give better advice than, say, a 13-year-old peer. That's also true. I'm just going to move on. Just a couple of quotes. So a question for us to think about. Will artificial intelligence degrade our ability to interact positively with other people? Think about it. I don't need to have an answer now. Melissa Schlinger, the Vice President of Castle Today, she says that our humanity and our ability to connect with and empathize and experience positive, loving, caring relationships that are productive for ourselves and society is at the core of what we are, who we are as humans. And I think we need to remember that we mustn't let the human element go. To give us some sense of perspective, William Orton in 1876, he said, "This telephone has too many shortcomings to be taken seriously as a means of communication." Look at that. And Ken Olson, more recently, 1977, said, "There's no reason anyone would want a computer in their home." And look at what's happened now. And then there's Kay Kurzweil, he's a futurist. He says, who said, "We won't experience 100 years of progress in the 21st century. It will be more likely 20,000 years. And that's a scary thought. And he goes on to say, artificial intelligence will reach human levels by around 2029. That's 5 years from now. Follow that out further to say 2045, we will have multiplied the intelligence, the human biological machine intelligence of our civilization 1 billion-fold. So we need to take stock. Who are we as human beings, or are we going to let machines take over? Okay, I'm just going to move on. William Gibson, American philosopher and again futurist, he says that the future is already here, but it's just not evenly distributed. So we're already in this new reality, new online artificial intelligence reality. We need to thoughtfully and intelligently leverage the tremendous benefits of AI, and we need to take stock of it now rather than just sort of go with the flow. Because AI is good in a large, diverse, and very disenfranchised country like India to build up the 3 E's. It's efficient, it is effective, it's great for, especially in education, for dealing with children who struggle to learn, etc. And it also fosters equity. So efficiency, effectiveness, and equity. So on that note, thank you. Sorry it took a long time.
Thank you, Ms. Maya Manin. A lot of food for thought there, and I'm sure you have more insights during the numerous sessions you've lined up today. Without further ado, I know we are running super late. I just want to make two announcements. One is the session on Ikigai for our teams, which was earlier in the day, is now moved from 1:30 to 2:15. And the ones who have enrolled for the panel discussion can stay right here. The rest of you can please move on to the sessions you have registered for. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to our board members. Thank you to SMT members and all of you. Have a wonderful day. Hello? Mr. Mahesh, can you hear us?
Because see, our whatever I'm talking now,
Yeah.
getting here. See.
Hello,
Hello,
Mr.
hello.
Hello? Hello, Mr. Mahesh?
I can hear you.